be coming in right now. Thanks everybody for tuning in right now. As promised, bringing James Wong on, who's a phenomenal brand. And I mean, there he is.
There I
am. What's up, man?
I want a cool hat like
So is this the first time you do a Facebook interview?
Yeah, this is my first time. I want a cool hat though.
Awesome, man.
Does that say Kurz?
Yes, of course.
Oh man, that's so cool.
There's that. There's that. There's that.
Damn. I gotta put this up somewhere. There we go. All right.
Awesome, man. So first of all, special thank you for making the decision to come out and share some experiences with the Real Talk conference. That's going to be, I mean, killer, man. I think we're going to have such a great time at the conference. For those of you that are tuning in right now, James, in my opinion, is one of the superstar brand creators who helps people build brands, put together a strong brand, and advertise it and market it in the best possible way. I wanted to bring you on live, and I wanted to do this with you because I want people to get a taste of what they're going to get from you, right?
Yeah.
What am I going to get from James at the Real Talk conference, man? So for those of you that are watching, again, realtalkcon.com, Real Talk conference, right? realtalkcon.com. Get your tickets. Get on there. And I'm telling you, there are 4 different types of tickets that you can buy. There's the championship level, which is the top tier ticket, which will give you opportunities for one-on-ones with James. There's the executive ticket that's right behind that, general admission, and then there's a general admission table for sale, a table for 8 people. So get on there, get your tickets, and check it out. James, let's talk real quick, man. I want to talk about, first of all, you guys helped me recently redesign and redevelop our brand, right? And I was so impressed by it that I've literally introduced you to 10 other people, you know? And so I want to talk about this because how important is brand in real estate?
You know, I do this talk. Sometimes different real estate organizations will bring me out and talk to the top, to a bunch of agents who are getting in the business. And now the question is, why do top producing real estate agents continue to take more listings than non-top producing agents? And everyone doesn't understand, right. The more successful you get, the more it's just like business comes to you. And what I see, I've worked with over 200 top producing teams. Most of them do 20 million a year in production. And the brokerages I work with are in top 40 in California. Some of them do 5 billion a year in production. And the number one thing I find is they imprint themselves in their community. They are mini celebrities in their community. They build a personal brand. And the reason what happens is when you brand yourself, it becomes a privilege to work with this agent versus the agent begging for business. And it's a completely different game. And
it's almost really hard to explain this to people who are doing real estate because they feel like, you know, and we'll dig more into this. Real estate companies, for the most part, the decent ones, right, like us, we spend an obscene amount of money on brand, right? I mean, we want people, dude, brand,
right?
Brand, brand. I mean, we
That's
spend
awesome.
ridiculous amounts of money so that when people see me walking around with my logo, sometimes people will stop me and say, hey, I follow you on social media, or I see your advertising, or even better, I've used one of your agents. Do you know so-and-so? You know, and that's huge. So we get into personal representation, right? The individual agent, John Smith. Let's use the name John Smith, right? John Smith joins Kurz Real Estate. His brand is what?
Right.
And it's John Smith. It's his face.
Mm-hmm. It's right? His face.
So how does that guy take his brand to the next level and create brand recognition?
Right. And I recommend that it's broken down into 3 main areas, right? So you have your own personal look, which is like your headshot, your face, videos that you shoot of yourself. But then it goes into, well, what do you guys stand for? Who are you? What do you guys
Right.
believe in? Wally, what are you guys focused on? Are you focused on transactions? Are you focused on family? Are you focused on marketing? And I've seen agents be successful picking any position, meaning positioning themselves in the market. Are you a real estate brokerage with a high-end marketing appeal? Or are you are you a family? Are you a couple and you work with families? You got to pick something that people can relate to. Without the positioning, like there's 13,000 agents in LA, 22,000 in Orange County, San Diego. You know, you're dealing with a massive amount of competition. I'm not sure how many there are across.
I mean, we're in, you know, in Miami, between Miami and Broward, the Miami Dade Association, or the Miami Association of Realtors, reportedly has about 46,000 agents.
Wow.
Right?
Insane.
It's insane.
Insane.
So I'm in Miami. Dude, how do I stand out, man?
Right.
What do I have to do?
The biggest thing is like people want to know what to expect from you. And it really does come down to making a promise. And the thing is, agents or salespeople don't realize that you need to make more promises, even if, and people are afraid to make promises because they can't deliver on it, or they don't want to under deliver on what they promise. But the problem is, if you do not promise something, there's nothing to expect. If there's nothing to expect, there's no reason to work with that person. It's the same reason why BMW promises the ultimate driving machine, because that car is a promise. If that brand becomes a promise why I should choose a BMW over a Jaguar, over a Mercedes. Again, it's all made up. A car is going to get me to San Francisco in the same amount of time. Like if I get a Toyota minivan versus a Tesla, it's going to take me there in the same amount of time. The difference is, what does that company stand for? Tesla stood for forward-thinking technology, changing the game of electricity. The minivan is a utility, and people buy but it works. People buy a minivan, people buy Teslas. It's just you have to pick something. And what I find when I do presentations all the time is agents don't pick anything. They just hope that they get referred business. You know, they're sitting there waiting. I had a presentation yesterday I did in San Diego, and I was talking to them about doing social media and how important it is to do their own social media. And they were like, well, I don't have time for that. I just want someone to do it for me. And I go, how many deals did you do this month? And, you know, if it's under 10 deals, you should not try to hire someone to do it. You have time to do it yourself, because people want to hear from you, not some automated process. And hearing from you is an easy thing of just posting something about the market, doing a video about what you're up to, showing success of your clients. Again, and then finding a theme as you create more content online that works for you, whether it's marketing, whether it's coaching, whether it's leadership, or it's families that you're supporting, or it's commercial real estate, and finding the best investment deals. It could be anything, but I definitely believe it's like if you. What happened?
So let me tell you what's going on in Miami right now, guys.
I think I was on a magical riff, and I said all this gold, and all of a sudden
and we missed out. Yo, so I'm sitting in my car because I'm between appointments, right? And I didn't make it back to the office on time. And I have this like cool contraption here that holds my phone up while I'm running around, and it shows me GPS or whatever the case is, right? And it's so hot in Miami right now that my phone overheated.
Oh my God.
So the temperature, the phone just shut off, the temperature went up, and I literally just sat here holding it in front of the AC, trying to get my phone back on. Oh man. So I'm sorry about that. Let's get right back into it. I don't want to kill too much time, but you know, we were talking about brand, we're talking about individualized brand, and you said the last thing that I saw was, dude, how many deals have you done, you know, this month? If it wasn't over 10 deals a month, or you're not doing 10 plus deals a month, then what the hell are you talking about? You should be doing your own social media.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, she didn't really get it. It was like, dude, you can't automate your brand. Like building a brand is an extraordinary commitment to creating a remarkable reputation about you. That is branding.
Dude, I think that's the greatest thing you said right now.
Marketing is an extraordinary commitment to promoting your reputation and value. But at first, you have to create the value. And it's actually not an easy thing to find out what it is that you're the strongest in and that you want the world to know you for it. You know, you could be the most flamboyant homosexual realtor, but you work with all the gay communities, and it works for you. You could be the couple that's super sweet, works with generations, and that's all you do is you work with generations from their grandpas to their parents to their kids, their grandkids. It doesn't really matter, but you got to pick something. The niche. Once you find the niche, you build a brand around the niche, and I think
Right.
that is.
So let's talk about niche for a minute, because brand should coincide your niche, right? And I think we can agree on that. Like if you have a brand, you want to design it around or amongst what it is that you stand for and who it is that you want to represent in this business, especially in real estate, right? You want to be able to say, I market to a specific neighborhood or demographic or price point or whatever the case is. You can choose. People used to typically ask me, what's your farm? Who do you represent? And I would say the internet. Man, I get on the internet. I get on social media. I'm a beast on social media. I present myself as me. I've always decided that my brand was always going to correlate my name, right? And what I found was that some of the greats don't have these crazy names, right? And I see some great brands out there that are, the 1-2-3 team or the closing team or the ABC team or whatever it is, and it's cool. They come up with those names, and that's fantastic. But in my opinion, some of the best, strongest, most outstanding top performers out there are using their names. And
Mm-hmm.
Lori Reeder's one of them. She's coming in, so she's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a
Mm-hmm.
speaker at the conference, and she's the Lori Reeder team or group, right? You've got
Mm-hmm.
the Wiseman group, you've got the Jills, you've got Josh Altman. He's the Altman brothers. It just keeps going and going and going. So I decided a long time ago that my name was going to be my brand, and guess what? It worked, right? And when you look at some of these major companies, Douglas Elliman, those are people. Keller Williams,
Yep.
those are people. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? And so no matter what level you're at, in my opinion, no matter what level you're at, you start branding appropriately immediately, right? Very early in on the game, right off the bat, brand yourself accordingly and do it right, and then stick to the brand, because a lot of people, I also noticed, develop a brand and then they decide a year from now that they want to change it all up. What they don't realize is that they hit the reset button, and like it all starts all over again right when people are about to start recognizing you, you know?
Yeah. You'd be surprised how much branding is so crucial to what consumers' buying power, influencing a consumer's buying. You know, so we did a survey of 60,000 realtors. Okay, and this was more on the recruiting side for brokers who are interested in why an agent joins a brokerage. And we made them
Great.
rank what were the top 4 reasons an agent. We gave them 10 options, and it came down to 4 reasons why an agent joins a brokerage. Number one was their connection to the leadership, right? Having that personal connection to leadership where they feel like the leadership, whoever was trying to recruit them, really cared about that person. That's number one. But then number two
Nice.
was their brand. That was what blew my mind. Was it Sotheby's? Was it KW? Was it Remax? Or was it a boutique brokerage that had a massive dominant brand awareness in the area, like Kurz? It just depended on that brand. Number three, could you help them hire? They really, a lot of agents want to learn how to hire, but they don't have support and learning how to scale their business and leverage themselves, so they can't hire. And number four, what can you do with their marketing? What can you do for their marketing? Because top producers know marketing makes such a big deal in the community because it builds that attraction. It is just a pinnacle piece to being a privilege to work with the agent, or are you begging for their business? And I see there's 3 types of agents. One, that just don't get it and don't care, and they're never going to make it, in my opinion. 2, who are trying to get there. And 3, who are trying to understand branding and the value of it. And number 1, the ones who get it and are doing it. And the ones who are getting or doing, it's just it's a huge advantage because they're doing it anyways. What realtors don't understand is if you're not you're not personally branding yourself, other agents are in their community and online, and they're getting an advantage over you if you don't build a brand around yourself or your team.
Right. So build a brand, create a design around your brand, and stand for
Right.
something. Right.
Stand for something.
That's what we want to get out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like when we talk Kurz Real Estate, we say our mission is to move you, and you helped us with that, and you helped us with the design around that. Our mission is to move you, and what the reason why that resonated with me so much was because I had this major goal when I got into real estate and into creating a brokerage and into coaching and into business development and all that other great stuff. One of the biggest things that really excited me was the ability to maybe change the market here in Miami, especially because this is where I can talk for, change the market even just remotely to create stronger, better, more ethical, amazing, branded, and just amazing people, and so Real Talk Conference is a big part of that, being able to do the conference and have folks come in and sit down. We're expecting 300. We've made space and design for 400 people at this conference. So
wow.
What we're trying, can you imagine just being able to sit down with these guys and really give them so much information that they can change their business even significantly? And so our mission is to move you really resonates in many ways. We can move you from your home. We can move you into a better direction in your business. We can move you up on the level. We can move you to better branding. We can and we with move you, we can talk to the client. We can talk to the agent. And so that means that we stand for something. We stand for creating a better agent. So the agents that join our company are, they go through great coaching and great training, and through that we feel that they become more productive because they care more about their client, because they're well trained and they're not so worried about that other stuff, right? So that's how we stand for something, and then each one of my agents understands that they also have to stand for something. And so I appreciate you that bringing that up, because I think that you're so on point when you talk about that, because you could be a brand, but if you stand for nothing, your brand will never get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Nike stands for something. So you want to talk brands,
Yeah.
right?
If I could break down,
these guys don't even put their
1-2
name anymore. They don't even put their name on anything anymore.
Exactly.
It just has a mermaid.
If I could put down the 1-2 punch of branding for your business, it's number one, figure out what you stand for. Number two, design a visual identity or like a visual system for your business, whether that's the logo, your colors, your website, your collateral, your sales collateral, your online, how does it look? Design it, get someone to design it, and then what ends up happening is you spend the next 5 years, 10 years saying the same thing, which is what you stand for, over and over and over and over again on every kind of media, whether it's video, it's email marketing, it's direct mail. You're going to say the same thing over and over again to the point where everyone knows your visual identity and what you stand for. Because the visual identity, which is the logo, will blend with what you stand for.
Right, and then make them all connect. Right? So that people can never escape what you stand for. Make them all connect. We all know what Nike stands for, and we all know what the swoosh looks like.
Right.
We all know what Starbucks stands for, and we all know the mermaid. We all know. We could just keep going. The Golden Arches. I don't even have to say the name of the company. I already know who I'm talking about. It's one thing after another of amazing, developed, strong brands that are on point. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I just texted you a page that we created a while back called the Real Estate Branding Map. It's a step-by-step map that you can send out, Dave, if you want, to the followers who are watching. They can check it out. It just kind of breaks it all down.
Put it on the feed, man. Put it on the feed for sure.
I'll put it on the feed. You guys can check it out. It's another resource for you guys to see how to build a real estate brand step by step. Because I know as we talk about it and you get more excited, you might want to know a little more detail on how it works. So this page will have that for you guys.
Look at that, guys. You're already getting free information, and the conference isn't even here yet, man.
Yeah.
You know, dude, thank you for this conversation. I'm sorry that that my phone crapped out in the heat there, and we got this going. But hey, it's technology, baby. We got to work with it. So we got 2 videos. I'll splice these 2 babies together, send you a copy so we can promote it. But man, really excited to have you so that we can talk about this because, you know, when we first met, I told you straight up, I'm a marketing junkie. I just happen to really like real estate, you know? So if I could practice being a marketing junkie and sell real estate, then I'm in heaven, right? So for me, it was a pleasure to be a real estate agent and know that if I'm not the best marketer out there, then it's just not going to happen for me, right? And so being able to sit down and talk to people about brand development, brand recognition, and the importance of having a brand is huge. And then the opportunity for us to stand for something, right? To be able to stand for something and really and then go with it. Josh, we're gonna put the URL. The Real Talk URL is realtalkcon.com, and then the URL for the brand development, James and I will put it on the feed right after we finish this, so you'll see it on there. We're getting some people requesting information, so that's going to be amazing. James, anything you want
That's
to
awesome.
close out with before we run out?
I guess I would just say, you know, it's pretty easy at this point to tell if someone's going to build a large business and a brand and someone who's not. And it comes down to their commitment to doing it, just doing it. And so you got to start somewhere. Figure out your headshot. Take a bunch of them. Get your daughter, your sister, your cousin to take some photos of you. Get a website up. If you don't want to be an online business card. You want to feel like they get to know you on your site. Be creative. People appreciate it. Everything's going more micro. That people don't want big brands anymore. They want a person that they can connect to in the community and also online. Online, it's just the it's just the same version of in person. It's just online now. And if the more and more personal you are online about your business, sharing your successes, being cool, the more they're gonna respond to you and think of you. 89% of buyers and sellers use the first or second agent they're thinking of. Are you the first
Yep.
agent they're thinking of? And the goal is to imprint
And it's
yourself
funny,
in their mind.
we had a presentation today at Kurz Real Estate with Aaron Ludden, who is with Orlando Branding, and he specializes in branded products such as, you know, this, right? And he brought like socks for everybody and cutting boards and knives and all kinds of stuff. And basically what he said was, you know, 80 something, I forget the numbers, but it's like 82 to 85% of people admit that they would use their realtor again, but only 17% of them do because they forget who they are after 2 years, right?
Yep.
And so if you've developed